What's up, guys? Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so, and don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as schedule for the channel and for the Yahoo Sports app. Keep pounding Fantasy Football League. Using her last name first, Ty, T-A-I, Lindara, L-I-N-D-A-R-A, for panels, videos, etc. to enhance your streaming. Fair pricing, awesome to work with, and just awesome in general. Tell her we sent you. She'll hook you up. Lindara Ty on Instagram. Additionally, I'd like to shout out Monster Sub Grub. Much love to you guys. And I'm advertising these guys for free, by the way. You know, I love the owner for letting us stream there. Monster Sub Grub in Spartanburg. Alright. Also, much love to the people that support our channel, new followers, new subs, everybody here. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. Can't material to get through. And preparations for the Houston game. Week 2 in preseason. Let's get it. I'm ready. Fantastic show. Same time. You know? It just freaking rocks. So, yeah. And I appreciate Tepper. This. And 16. Posted. Let's go. Let's get into this content, shall we? Alright. And, Bryce Young. Really? After that preseason game performance, I don't understand. It makes game performance I don't understand. It makes no. But for third, I think it's going to be a battle between Shamar. And Thornton. For third and Thornton. For third and fourth. Honestly doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's obvious. So and the following question is, what are just in case we get injuries? Just in case we get injuries? So in the next 2 weeks here, be on who stood out against the Texans in joint practice, because joint practice will bring out the best in these players. Which ones separated themselves, which ones showed up, which ones caught the coach's attention, which ones will be going up the ladder. It was a rainy done yesterday. Stream really just didn't see the and what a fire indoors of work league. But the season, but come on. And he would way that matchup become a. I would definitely against this dude. There's gonna become a. I would definitely against this dude. There's gonna be some that the dude is making. I feel that the dude is making. I feel like there's really something there with a lot of these guys. That that and right way, energy and he put it onto the field. Balls, and he's making balls, and he's going in the future. In the future. Mid that we've been working out today. Yeah, they say he's a lineman. So worked out for the Texans. He's at 150 come up fast to flat. How did he do in college? I don't care about your stupid cookies. We're just you something against. But what I want to call your attention is the ACC in the ACC Championship Holiday Bowl. High powered. So for him to running backs eligibility recorded 30 tags. I want he registered 2. So I like what I'm seeing so far. Very much like that. Now this part is not. Never mind the rest of this because the rest of these teams don't matter. These are the ones that matter. South Carolina's getting there. With all due respect, they're getting there. They've got some work. I don't give those very often, so we might be right. Fans that actually does. In your season here, because Georgia Tech's not doing very well right now. Struggling offensively at the time. Home opener against Charlotte doesn't matter. Okay, so, but I like. So you're talking about 3.5 hits, and really need to know about this dude. He's a solid run stopper. He can do putting up the numbers that you see how he does. He's in this dude, but I really wanted to cover that because I felt like he was important enough to cover. Where about see where about see as we enter to see a little bit more fight. I'm happy to see a little bit more fight. I'm happy. As for on CJ Stroud, from what I've been hearing, CJ Stroud was terrible today. I guess this Panthers secondary. Because again it's like it's this is the end all be all. These guys have so much respect. This is the end all be all. These guys have so much respect to. This is the end all be all. These guys have so much respect to. By the same token, you've got to recognize like. These Panthers secondary players are really making moves. Trayvon Moehrig. But yeah, we got a joint practice between the Saints and Rams. I believe that is. We're I'm not thought we were gonna see something. Okay, let's see what this video. I like that. Oh, something. Okay, let's see what this video. I like that. A left tackle position again. I like that. A left tackle position again. He's beating him on the outside. Coming up. Tackle position again. He's beating him on the outside. Coming up. He's beating him on the outside. Coming up. Up. Just knocks him off balance. Just knocks him off balance. Plus 17 right there. You love to see that. Plus 17 right there. You love to see that. That is where go. Is where go is. Liz. Before I jump to conclusions, I believe. Before I jump to conclusions, I believe. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Look at the footwork. Look at the footwork. Engage. See how he let go? And that's been defensive. We fixed that issue. He let go? And that's been defensive. We fixed that issue. We'll have so that is that on film, that's the hand. So that is that on film, that's the hands. Want it chest hands. Want it chest level. That's my concern there. Stuff I want to level. That's my concern there. Stuff I want to highlight. Highlight these things. David Tepper, which is awesome. This is what I'm looking for. When I'm looking for content, because I need. When I'm looking for content, because I need to see everything that's going on here. I believe see everything that's going on here. I believe that might be a better look at it, to be honest. If that might be a better look at it, to be honest. Look where they are. Look where they are. Yep, still trying to figure that out. Yep, still trying to figure that out. If we can get four-hole Christensen and all these guys, on the starting line, then, and, for four-hole quarters, I think we'll be fine. For four-hole quarters, I think we'll be fine. Through an entire season. Supposed to do. Then it becomes. Then it becomes. So depth at running back. The offensive line is still a little shaky. The offensive line is still a little shaky. Right. They were 12th in going happy. They were 12th in going happy. Going happy. Yet. Go Chris Barnes. Right there. That's what we're at. Go Chris Barnes. Right there. That's what we're looking for. Go Chris Barnes. Right there. That's what we're looking for. Scott. Ransom gets a pot. Ransom continue to see it. The rook. To see it. The rook. It's right now. He's getting it done. You can't argue with the results. Let's get back to teams. A permanent safety. When you go back, you frustrates this shadow away. Of that bump in fumble. Excellent job. And I think we'll see though. In this Twitter right here. Okay. Really good start. Now in the middle. Okay, it's good for the Texans, for starting to peak. Understood. That's a good start right there. Like that. Calais for the Cardinals. Bond getting in some trouble, huh? The NFL team now. The wide receiver is gonna sign somebody like that. Of it, right? So got the Charlotte Hornets. I'm gonna look that up. How about that one? With the Texans joint practice. Okay. Okay. Alexander says, looking at some of the Texans' defensive tweets, I actually think the Panthers' offense is going to be solid this season. Watching their defense, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? I'm at that point where I'm looking at this team like, maybe we can get to that point of 7-9 wins. Maybe we can. I'm starting to buy in, y'all. Like seriously buy in to 7-9 wins at this point. Of the Browns and the Texans have clearly shown to be, folks. This is where I see something, man. Texans offense. Trouble in paradise. What's up, Lot Poppy? How you doing? A few times. Out there now. He's fire up the tweets about it's Derek Brown. Come on, man. You really think this dude wasn't gonna come out here and ball out? Come on, dog. Man. You making yourself look like a fool. We all know. I don't know. Can't do, right? What was that? Because I'm still trying to figure that out. Why the hate? Why the hater? Plain and simple. Excellent. Plain and simple. Excellent pass right here. When you look at pass right here, when you look at first of all, you're throwing it in double coverage, and look at this leaping perfect catch. This leaping perfect catch. My man caught that. Now I want y'all to do this pre-snap. Look at his adjustment right there. Adjustment right there. Look at that hip adjustment. He is getting set up, and he is set up right there. Defender tries to get inside on him. He says, nah. I got this. So if a defender tries to go inside on Icky now, I want y'all to use that block to the inside formula. Icky because the hands meant all the time on the outside. This from watching this in traffic in double coverage. With a beautiful in double coverage. With a beautiful leap up in the air that only he could catch. I mean, that's Panthers football, right? Football to be like on offense. When you're so Madden 26 has been released. We're downloading that right now. Bit of that after the stream or tomorrow. but a PC that, you know, without. And I would really like to do just to see how it is before I really jump in and try to stream. Just to see how it is before I really jump in and try to stream that. Uh, Bryce Young. Bryce Young. And that just shows you. That just shows you, man, to see stuff like that. To see stuff like that. Jones make plays because I saw we had. When did Pat Jones somehow make a play here? That we don't know about, or or did he? You know, be there, obviously. T Mac making a play right there. Look at that. T Mac making some action happen. Excellent blocking. This is excellent blocking. This is. Dang, he got roasted. Rosen Anderson, my Twitter feed. Here. Rosen Anderson, my Twitter feed. Here. What's that pass though, man? Who is? Looks like that. Yeah, 87. Yeah, I have to. Bryce. Okay. Absolutely sure. Yeah, that's 87. So, man, making plays like this. Big. I'm actually mentioning it. It's not a complicated name like that, or I need to see more in a row. Then I'll. Making a play. Please show me something. Training camp to make a move until like the last. Too little. Please show me something. Training camp to make a move until like the last. Too little, too late. Plays the wide receiver. But until you've been able to do that, for the most part, by the practice squad, maybe. End of the day, if you don't do this 2 to 3 days in a row, that's on you. So, I think they made improvements to get Hexon's guy. You know, Alexander from him. That practice today was a really crosser. He beat Stingley and runs to the. Yeah, and I think we just saw. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go checking that out. Go look that up. Sack allowed again. Him on the outside. Who was that? Knocked that ball down. Look at this. Got it too because it was low enough. Ooh. That's dirty, man. Defense. Good defense. Let's see. Matthew Stafford has a back injury, but he's going to work out on Saturday. Okay. That's just around the league here. Let's see. We're going to be physical. We're definitely going to come and hit you, so you better get ready for a show. Yeah, man. Look at Trayvon Mulrig showing you guys that energy, man. Great throw, great catch. Yes, sir. That's the. Look at the blocking. Excellent. See. With that one. Here today, that was just breasted the whole way. I would definitely say dyslexia. Success. I would definitely say dyslexia. Success. That's wow. Out of frame. They're right there. Yeah. Wanted another look at that. Everybody's been talking about. That must have been a defensive stop right there. Let me see. Okay, so they're coming across. Okay, so that was taking away from this. He does look good on that. in 4 weeks of the most complete the most complete 8 or 9 wins is the goal this year, and they made that's exactly right to win the crown this year. So and to help us out, give them more balanced out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's absolutely no reason why we couldn't. And I believe that was either last year or 2 years ago. Talent, we could have had it. So I am gonna. That's why I'm saying horrendous to go below 7. Okay, there's a look at the other CJ Stroud touchdown. Because it was supposed to cover him. That's concerning right there. Because I don't see the kid should be a linebacker. I don't know. As far as like the corners or here we go. Here's this is what I want to see right here. Madden's almost done loading. Ooh. Jack. Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Listen.
Most about you is that through all the ups and downs, you were the same person. What do you respect the most about Bryce Young?
I would say very similar. You know, he's very even keel, very cuts off. But you know, I know he don't focus you back on what's important. He should, and we all know. So, the peak, like he stayed the same guy.
There's a lot of respect. This dude down. I want to see this video. Saying to him. Man, that's good. I mean, nobody can argue. Or pre. So yeah, fair. I think I've seen enough of Thielen too. Lost my attention right at the moment. You know, thought that was worth looking at again. And quiet. You know, there wasn't much. I am gonna. And a few errors. Okay, you have my attention. So, to Dave. Solid point. Can we mention the level of that's what sloppy in the middle was finesse. That's what sloppy in the middle was finesse. That's who we are. That's who we are. We have to be able to focus and rebound with rebounding. And I'm here to say we're finally starting. So now Dave Canales is starting to. You know you're going to do. Canales is starting to. You know you're going to do. Yes, I let my be through. You know issues. Now it's. We're winning. Lighting it up right now. This right here. Wins that you want. Little pieces of improving. We've had so many pieces of improving. We've had so many complaints one by one. You're starting to see less soft. One by one. You're starting to see less soft. Any of these, you're starting to see less soft. Any of these issues, I know people want. You know what I'm saying? Issues, I know people want. You know what I'm saying? Encouraged by this. This year. No, I'm not. I'm not. All the times this Panthers extra garbage. In however That's what I'm trying to tell you. The dawn is coming. And it's coming. And it's coming faster than you think. And people that have been here watching my streams know exactly what I mean when I say my streams know exactly what I mean when I say that. Say that. In training general, hiding. In training general, hiding. Know what's fully going on. Know what's fully going on. Past few years. If you are just joining us, you haven't been a fan for a number. You haven't been a fan for a number of years of the Panthers. Strap yourselves. sick of. I get it. I was so tempted. Excuses not to do strat. Found a whole heck of a lot. Found a whole heck of a lot more. Found a whole heck of a lot more. It bad years, but been fast, man. I'm trying bad years, but been fast, man. I'm trying to tell you like it is. Like I see it. I see it coming. I see it coming. The sun rising, from, and you're about to start winning. This year is when it's on wins. Now the emphasis. When you, I'm getting excited, y'all. I'm getting excited, y'all. This is real hype. This is real hype. Enter social media just hype us up. You know, and amping. Except for media just hype us up. You know, and amping. Except for this year. I'll join the. I'll join the. So Canal the turnover at Martian. I don't think people realize how any this man knows what he's doing. Now he didn't even look at the trouble spot. Hands all day. Emphasis on right there. That's a beautiful thing right there. That's yeah. That's a beautiful thing. And lost on the turnover. Number of times that's happened. This coaching crew are gonna become a problem. Like this is what we've been since the Super Bowl. This so freaking beautiful, climbing to the top. Up, all these small victories along the way. We're gonna be talking about this. And it's a matter of that. About this and how because the simple success, every bit of it, and these small victories that you think are small victories, if we can somehow and Dave Canales is working on it right now. This is encouraging. This is definitely encouraging. And we're going in the right direction. So, let's Chris Barnes to pass that it was intended for him. As the group moved into a red zone drill, Stroud loaded up, looking for Christian Kirk. Which would have been a long pass for a touchdown, but Mike Jack went seeking, peeling off of his guy, to track the ball and timing his jump on the high pass perfectly, coming out with a would-be touchback. Mike Jack getting to the next level. This is pass block I knew he as you go full. Mike Jack, I love this. You put the two pieces together, it's like this is a man that is finally starting to find his rhythm. This is what proper coaching does, man. Nick Scott, another great example. Batted the ball into the air, knocking it, finishing the play. He didn't just and that is something that is uncharacteristic. This man did something. That's two players now done. On defense, we're starting to make some. These players are starting to push their glass ceilings. This is what I've been waiting so long for. And my patience has paid off. Because I said, okay, you've done these things in your career so far. Now what's next? What's your next step forward? What is your next goal? What is your glass ceiling now? And as I've always said, keep creating the next goal for yourself. Keep going. You know, don't stop. Don't settle. Keep creating goals. And these guys are breaking the glass ceilings that they have set for themselves. And saying, okay, what's next? What's next? That's the next question you start asking. As soon as you do it. You're like, okay, celebrate the win temporarily, then say, what's next? You know, it's I equate that to people working out in the gym, you know? You're losing weight, and then you say, okay, am I satisfied with this, or do I want to keep going? And if I do want to keep going, what's next? What are my next goals? You look at these guys, every one of them is saying, what's next? And I love this. God, it's the most beautiful thing ever. To have a whole team of players saying, what's next? Not how can we get put through this practice? How can we just lazily get our money? You know, how can we, just slop around and jog through the drills? No. Every one of these guys is asking what's next. Finally. That's real progress. This is what I've been aiming for. This is what I've been so hyped to see, man. Because when you got a whole 53-man roster of that, giving 100% of what they got on the field, like Trevor Moehrig, like Derek Brown, that's all they know is 100%. To the point where it does get them hurt, which at which point you do want to slow that down a little bit, to make sure you're healthy and on the field, because you want to be available. But I admire the fact that these guys are going 100 on these plays. I love it. Because if you got a whole team of guys that are going 100, whatever they've got, you're going to see results. Period. You are going to see results. I love this, man. Pat Jones. Okay, here we go. We're revisiting Pat Jones. Remember how we heard something about him earlier today, but we didn't know what he had done? Let's find out. Anytime you get a pick in the red zone, that's big time. So, I mean, it's just great. So great knowing that when I'm rushing, I get players like that behind me. You know, just making plays like that. That's a fact, Pat. That's a freaking fact. Mr. Patrick Jones, man. Like, yes, sir. Speaking your truth. Alright. Panthers test linebacker rotation without Wallace. Alright, so Trevin Wallace was not on the field today. Personal matter. Okay. Fair enough. He was late and he showed up suited up, but he was late. And that's fine. We know what Trevin Wallace can do. You know, I would rather see some of these other guys anyway. I would like to know what Radigan's doing. I want to know what Bam Martin Scott is doing. You know, and Thomas, these other three. Those are the three I want to know. If I've seen you consistently make plays in the first two weeks of camp, you know, I'm not worried about you. Like Rose Bloom. It's the rest of these guys that got to show us something, man. They got to show us something. Radigan, I have not heard your voice or your talents on the field all camp. In Coombe, I've seen you make a play. Bam Martin Scott, I've seen you make a play. But consistently? There's the question. So, how do we do? They took some of the early reps with the first team. Undrafted Bam Martin Scott got in with the ones and stayed for the most of the day, except for a few specific packages. Canales said Wallace will play on Saturday. See, the fact that there's nothing else there shows me you guys still have work to do. Why am I not hearing Bam Martin Scott knocks a pass down? Or Incoom gets in and covers a guy really well? Or something extra here. I need something extra. And I'm not getting it from these three. I know what Rosebloom's going to do. He's probably just having an off day. But these other three, where you at? I need to see these three in action against the Texans doing something on Sunday. I don't care if you make 1, 2, 3 tackles. I don't care. Do something. Show up. Show up on the stats room. And I'm pushing these guys because I've seen what is going on with the rest of these guys. If the rest of these guys are making plays, they're doing stuff, where are you at? You know what I'm saying? Where the rest of y'all at? Are you alive? Do you have a heartbeat? Can you breathe? Then make a play. You know? That's what I'm saying, man. Because I'm going to put the heat on you in training camp, bro. I am. As a streamer and a YouTuber, I'm going to put the heat on you. I'm going to call you out. But it's up to you. You know, these coaches are going to do the same thing I'm doing right now. And they are. Probably a much, much rougher language than I'm using right now. And getting on your ass. Excuse my French, but that's the way it is in training camp. You've seen the documentaries. I'm just saying what they say. But yeah, excuse my French for anybody that's, family related. But the coach is saying the same thing I do. Y'all already know this. So what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do when these guys put the pressure on you? What? Iron sharpens iron, as they say in Game of Thrones. So, iron sharpens iron. When you guys are on the bubble of either making this 53 or not, and Radigan, I'm talking to you specifically. Come on, man. You already know you've been on the bubble both years. Do something. Because we don't want to see you on that practice squad again. Same to you, Nkum. We know what you guys are capable of doing. Now, Bam Martin Scott, I know is going to make a play. I know he is. But it's these two right here. These two. Do something. It's like the meme with the guy poking with a stick. It's like, do something. Do something. Do something. Make a play. Do something. So, let's see it. We got love for you, but do something. Alright, so as Rosebloom and Radigan walked on the field together, Texas fan excited to see a player he knew and liked began screaming out, Adam Thielen, trying to get the attention of the two players, neither of whom was Adam Thielen. Playing along, Rosebloom looked at Radigan, asking if he was the Adam fan wanted to meet, before turning around to the fan and quipping, no, just the other white guy. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it. That's awesome, man. Just play along. The fans are the fans, and you got to show them that love, man. Oh. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Linebacker Mapolo, a Panthers exchange student from England, forced a fumble during a kickoff coverage drill. Ooh. Now I'm getting hyped. Y'all remember the last London exchange player we had that made a play like that? Now I'm getting hyped. Okay, Maplo. I see you. You just got my attention, good sir. You just got my full attention. Now my question is, can you keep it? That was big. Maplo said he's left the field with a smile on his face. Now just to keep working, keep learning, and keep stacking days. I love that. I love that mentality. I love it. Keep stacking days. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Maplo. That's the mentality right there that got Afi Abada his starting job. Same mentality. You could be next, good sir. You could be next. I've been asking the last few days, who's going to be the next Afi Abada? I think we might have our answer. Only time will tell. But this right here, this caught my full attention. He's 6'2", 230 pounds. And he has since shifted inside to linebacker because of his size. Okay. A guy who hasn't even played a sport until around a year ago. Just made a name for himself on special teams. This is beautiful. This is what progress looks like. This is absolutely what progress looks like right here. This is the definition of progress on this roster. That's crazy. Think about that. A guy from London, from England, never played a sport in his life, just made a special teams play, and caught the coach's attention. Just let that settle for a second. Let that settle in. Let that sink in. I haven't even got to the pressers yet, and I'm already hyped. I'm already excited. I don't really care what Dave has to say about the weather stuff, but he does have a point about the weather in Jacksonville, versus the weather that we just encountered during this joint practice. He's got a very, very good point. If we can't handle the weather in this joint practice, fatigue-wise, we are going to struggle against that same issue in the season opener against Jacksonville. Fair point. But the workload is still the workload. It's never going to cease. You got to push through it. You got to keep pounding through it. He said it. He said it. Keep pounding. He said the name of the channel. Yep. Yes, sir. He said it. That's right. I said it. I said it. Sam Mills is exactly why this channel was named what it is now. But it's so much deeper than that. And y'all already know. So for this situation, we need to keep pounding through this weather. We need to keep pounding through injuries. We need to keep pounding through the hard work. And we need to find success. It's football. Exactly. It's football. Whatever type of heat or crazy weather you get, it's football. Shoot, I sat through a monsoon during the Colts game. Double overtime in 15. You think these guys were affected by that? Nah. That team said, bring it. They said, bring it. We're ready. We ain't scared of this crap. We are not scared to play in this junk. Bring it. And that's the mentality we got to have around Carolina now. Bring it. When it comes to the weather. Whether it be 98 degrees or freaking snowy weather, bring it. And not be afraid of that crap at all. And say, We're here to play some football. We're here to win. Screw the weather. I want to win. So my question to you is, with this fatigue stuff, if you're a Panthers player right now, which one are you going to let affect you more? The weather or your passion for the game that fuels you through these practices? Which one are you going to let affect you? Which one are you going to let win? And if you say your passion for the game, let's get it. Because that's the right answer. That's the right answer. Because I remember we were going into that Seattle game back in 15. Rainy old Seattle. And I'll never forget this because this team was so well disciplined in 14 and 15. We came in there fully decked out, depth-wise. And I swear to you, not a single one of these guys gave a crap about that weather that day. Same thing with the Colts game. Did not care. They said, we're here to do a job. And we're not leaving without a win. In both cases, we won. We left everything on that field and we won. Those were major, major milestones for this franchise. Both of those games. And that team was something special, man. It really, really was. I wonder if they're going to highlight those two games during that documentary. I haven't seen it yet. And like I said, I've been waiting for the right day to do a full stream on that. And just react strictly to that. Because I'm going to have a lot to say on that. Definitely. It's going to turn into a 4-hour stream. No question. That's why I want that as a separate stream by itself. Because that was a heck of a freaking year. And that's our milestone. That's our bar. We've been trying to get there ever since. With focusing on fatigue and the little things like that, we can start to work our way closer and closer and closer to that. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take determination. It's going to take discipline. But if we are willing to do all of those things and push our glass ceilings and make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, we will get there. I have zero doubt in my mind. We will get there. Zero doubt at all. There's something special happening in Carolina, y'all. There's something special. We're about to leave our mark. And leaving our mark doesn't mean we're going to win playoff games. It doesn't mean we're going to get to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean a 12 and something record. It means we're going to leave our mark and make sure that people know that we are back as a franchise. And we're going to do that by showing them what we have acquired, what we've been working on, and the progress that we've been making. And that looks like the little things that we've just talked about right there. with focus on turnovers, with focus on weather, with focus on, you know, technique, footwork, discipline, and guys that don't normally get much attention making plays. It's a step forward in the right direction. And I'm so proud of this team and this management for staying the course and saying, no, we're not going to deviate. We see what is going on here, and this is it. Like, everybody started to see even just a fraction of that success during the last 5 games last year. You got to see a fraction of what this team could be capable of. Just a fraction. As long as we stay on track. And it spooked me because this was the transitional period where we could have given up. We could have said, you know what, this isn't working for us. You know, we could have fallen right back into those old patterns again. But Dave Canales kept us pointing north. He kept us pointing north. He kept us on track. And I'm so freaking proud of him. Thank you, Dave. Seriously, thank you. Because I don't know what we would do without Dave Canales right now. I don't know where we would be. We'd probably still be wandering through the Sahara Desert of L's. You know, with this team. This man has changed the entire culture. He's changed the entire culture of the Panthers. And if you're not seeing it, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not seeing the culture change from the fact that we almost beat two Super Bowl teams last year. 2. Not 1. 2. Came within 7 points of them. Both of them. If you're not seeing the potential that's about to happen, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help you see it. Because that right there is a signal to the rest of the league. That right there that's the definition of leaving our mark right there. Was those 2 games in the Germany game against the Giants. Because that's when it truly turned back around. And we became something new. We rose from the ashes like a phoenix. And now it's time to do something. With that talent and with those skills. So I ask you, Panthers players, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What is your plan? What is your goal? What is your way of leaving your mark on the 2025 season? I challenge all of you. What's your way? What is your answer to that? You know, instead of these goofy questions you guys are asking, you know, for the cart talk stuff, ask them that one. Ask them the challenging one. Don't beat around the bush. Get straight to the point and ask them that. Because that's what we need to know as Panthers fans. We deserve an answer to that question. Because that's going to tell us who these guys are and what they're going to be capable of. And what they want to do. That's going to tell us who wants to be here and be a part of success when it happens. That's going to be one of the things that determines how and when we get to that Super Bowl again. And this time, hoist that trophy. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the third time is the charm. I believe that. Do you guys believe that? I believe it. I believe the third time is going to be it. Now, you go back and you look at some of the interviews from some of those players in 2015. Listen to what they say. Some of the veterans. Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Greg Olsen. Listen to what they say. Because I guarantee you, the general idea is we're not leaving without that doggone trophy. That was the mentality. We still have work to do. We're not done. When they got through with that NFC Championship game, they said, we're not leaving without that Lombardi. The balls on these gentlemen to have the guts to say something like that. And be able to back it up with their talent on the field. That's a beautiful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a beautiful thing. That's what I want to get back to. That's what I want the Panthers to become again. Players and coaches that say that exact same thing again. And be able to back it up. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. We're getting there. It'll take time, but we're getting there. But it takes little wins like today to get us there. So, respect to our management. Respect to our players. I believe in all of you. I'm buying in. I don't know about y'all, but I'm buying in. I'm going all in on this. You know, as Dabo likes to say, all in. I like this. Yeah, I like that mentality right there because we need a phrase of our own like all in. You know? But we got to leave our mark. Leave our mark? Do y'all feel like that's a strong enough one? I'll say for now, I think it is. I think for now it is. I like it though. I like it. The more I think about it, the more I deep dive what that phrase means, the more I like it. And I'm sure, like, there was a list of phrases, you know, written on a piece of paper probably. And this was on there when it was created. And they said, you know what? Let's sit on this overnight. Let's let some of these phrases sink in. Let's deep dive this. What does that really mean? You know? And what it really means is exactly what I was just talking about. That's why they chose it. Y'all want to know why they chose that? That's why. Because while everybody out there hates this team, except for the people in it that are in it to win it, fan base, coaches, media, people that actually do their homework on us, understand us, the people that really, really rock with us as a Panthers franchise. We're sitting over here going, okay, we see it. We accept it for what it is. And now we're going to do something about it. So what are we going to do? We're going to leave our mark on the league. And I'll deep dive this even further. With J.C. Horn given to the Homeless Association, that is leaving your mark. When I hear that we're focused on turnover margin, that's leaving your mark. When I see players doing something they normally didn't do before and shattering their glass ceilings, that is leaving your mark. So rookies and people I have not called the name of, how will you leave your mark? How will you impress the coaches? How will you be what we ask you to be to get to this 53-man roster? What's your plan? What's your set of goals? How will you do it? Sit on it. Think about it. You don't have to tell us the answer right away. Show us. A gyro, same thing to you. How will you leave your mark as a defensive coordinator? Especially one that's hot on the hot seat right now. How are you going to do that? And don't get desperate to keep your job. Just leave your mark. That's what we're asking you to do. Alright, so with that being the case, I think I've soliloquied enough. Let's talk about let's do some pressers. Yeah, let's do some pressers. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Alright, so we got two pressers here. Okay. A gyro, huh? A gyro, the man of the hour. Oh, I gotta see this.
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico.
This ought to be fun. Oh boy. Y'all better hope I don't roast this man. Because the things that I've seen last year, y'all better hope I don't roast this dude. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, very good. You didn't waste people's time that much this time around. About 8 minutes. Perfect. Good job. Thank you, media. Y'all are getting better about this. Because they were wasting like 40 minutes of people's time, and it was just like, really? Really? So, without further ado, Mr. Gyro Evero. Let's see what you got to say.
I feel like missed you guys.
Did you really?
I did.
You got the most goofy looking smile on your face already. Look at this. Oh my lord. We're in for it, y'all.
Are you make an opening statement?
Yeah.
He looks like freaking Donkey Kong. Just. I'm sorry. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh my god. A gyro. DK. Donkey Kong. Oh my god. Alright. Let's get serious. Let's go.
Are you ready? Okay, beautiful. So yeah, I do. I like to make an opening
That was
statement.
funny.
So yeah, obviously we're back in football, and it's exciting to be back with the guys. And I'm really enjoying this group of players that we have. They give us so much energy, and they give the best. They're coachable. They give great effort in the classroom. And
Can I just say, he's talking about how much energy the players give. This is the most energetic I've seen him in like an entire year and a half. That's saying a lot.
in the meeting room, in the on the field, in the weight room, all those different types of things. And so, I just want to give a little kudos to our staff as well. They are just doing an excellent job, starting with Todd Wash, Dom Capers, Andrew Carter, Pete Hansen, Ronaldo Hill.
Did they give you an extra cup of coffee today? And Gyro, like, this is the most hyped I've seen this man. This is wild.
Jonathan Cooley,
Let's
Alir
go,
Needy,
Don.
Kevin
Let's go.
Peterson, Mayor Chad Hurry. All of those guys are just excellent coaches, teachers, driven,
Oh my
dedicated,
God.
ambitious. And so they're really pouring into our guys, and we're seeing the results of that. And so excited to play this next game against the Texans and practice against them, and another opportunity for us to get better.
I have a two-part
Good opening
question.
soliloquy.
We've seen all the stats and all those things last year. You guys had some injuries on that side of the ball. Was there any point in last
opening
season where you thought that it
statements.
was a possibility that you wouldn't be back for 2020?
No,
Dang. She put him in the corner already with the first question. Dang. She asked him, was there any possibility in your mind that you wouldn't be back next year? Something to that effect. Ouch. That's how we gonna start this presser? This is really how we're starting this presser? Oh my god. Oh man. The press coming in hot, man. Strap yourselves in. This is gonna be fun.
no, you just really just can't dive into that. I mean, we completely understand what we signed up.
You can't dive into that, bro. The man said no, and he's not gonna dive into that. Okay.
Up for, and it's a production business, and if we don't do well, that's always an opportunity to happen. But I don't worry about that. I do the best I can, and pour into our guys, pour into our staff, and that's all you can do.
As a follow-up to that,
You know what? Fair response. To be honest, I can't argue with it. You do the best you can with what you got. He's not wrong.
Do you feel like you guys were able to get some players in the building that are more suited and have more experience in the 3-4 or the different schemes that you've thought about for this team?
No, I don't.
Dang. Whew. This reporter's coming in hot today. Yo, y'all got some solid questions. Let's go. I like this. She's talking about certain players that either fit the 3-4 or they don't. I'm not entirely sure what the question was there, but just the thought of asking a question like that, second question in, about the 3-4. This media ain't playing today, y'all.
I want to really compare to last year. I'm just excited about this group. Like I've said, I'm really, really enjoying this group of players. They're just fun to coach, and they give their best, and they're coachable. They give great feedback back to the coaches.
That's not what she asked, bro. That's not what she asked. She asked about your players fitting the 3-4. Gyro, try again, buddy.
And so, yeah, I'm just focusing on the moment.
Yeah, you're focused on the moment. Yeah, you were trained to give that type of an answer. Come on, man. It's not what she asked for. Next.
You got an unusual group at outside linebacker, a couple vets, a couple of rookies. What have you seen? What have you learned about those guys in the last 2-3 weeks?
They're getting better. They're getting better. It's very clear. And, the challenge with that position, especially in the spring, is that, you just can't have the contact that you need to really evaluate them, to really see how they're developing. And so it's been really, really good to see the pads on. We're going against tight ends. We're going against tackles. We're seeing a physical aspect of things. And so, and since the first day we put on the pads up to our padded practice yesterday, there's been a lot of growth and a lot of improvement. And so that's what we're looking for there. And
a lot of growth and improvement when you put the pads on. Well, no crap, Sherlock. That's what happens when you put the shoulder pads on, buddy. Come on, man. You want to expand on that?
And so, yeah, you're right. There's a diverse group of guys. There's some guys that are past guys, some guys that may be more.
We don't care about the diversity of the players. That's not the question, Gyro. Come on, man. Quit dodging it.
More run guys, but just the collective group, I'm really happy about them and really happy about how they're
group, we're really happy about them.
In particular, where have you seen them make the most
Over
strides?
here looking like Donkey Kong, man. Somebody give him a banana.
It's in everything. It's in everything. It's in first of all their communication. It's in their stance. It's in the things that they're keen, where they're looking, eyes being in the right spot, rolling off the ball like we're trying to encourage them to do, striking blocks,
finally,
even in their pass.
Finally, now there's something more expanded in an answer. All right, they're rolling off the ball. Okay. That's all you're going to give us? Let's see if he gives us any more.
Coverage. So it's been great because a lot of the things we're asking them to do, they didn't really do a lot of.
Like what? Like what? What are you asking them to do? You don't like specifics, do you? I've noticed that about you. I've seen maybe 3 or 4 press conferences from this dude, and he doesn't talk specifics, like, at all.
In college, and so I've been really, really happy to see how they've developed and grown these last couple of weeks.
Yes, we know they've grown and they've developed. We know that. Tell us something we don't know.
DJ, draft picks, are they developing a friendly rivalry between each other?
Stupid question, yes.
Well, it's all
Next.
about competition. That's what Coach Dave preaches, and so it's not even those two. It's just everybody, right? We want competition all the way across the board, and I think that.
Good answer. Actually, a good answer, and he's correct.
To have the best competition, everybody out there has got to believe they're the best.
Yesterday, you guys had a pretty competitive practice where the defensive line seemed to just be like a wall against the run. When you see that in practice, how does that carry? How can you teach that to carry over into games?
Ooh, excellent question. Excellent question. You coming in with some good ones today.
Well,
I like
yeah,
this.
it's just about, we always say practice preparation equals game reality. So where whatever we want to see happen in the game has got to show up in practice. And so it's really, really exciting to see how we've really come along. Again, kind of going back to the first day of practice, we weren't so great against the run game. And the cool thing is that we're playing against a really good old line that's really good at running the ball. So I think that's great for us in terms of helping us improve. But to see how we've developed and how the consistency has showed up and how the techniques and fundamentals have improved over the last couple of weeks, it's really been cool to see. And yesterday's practice was a highlight of that.
Excellent answer to that question. Excellent. He's right. Because you've seen the highlights, you've seen these guys, get better as you've watched the tweets roll in, and all the updates rolling in, so from the videos that we've seen, I would have to agree. But that's actually a decent answer.
About how last year the off-season focus was on improving the O-line. This year was the D-line. How hard is it to kind of have a one-year turnaround and rebuild like y'all are attempting in that group?
Yeah.
Excellent question. And remember, Ajaro, your job's on the line with questions like this. You're being evaluated on questions just like this one, brother. Let's see what he answers.
Kind of to go back to the same point, I don't really look at it that way. I feel like every year is their own entity, and what we did last year, good or bad, really doesn't matter.
With you, that's bull crap. That's bull crap. That is grade A bull crap. Because that defense was god awful last year. Oh, it's a brand new 0-0 start. No. When your job is on the line, bro, they're looking at a collective all 2 to 3 years. For you, this is your second year. So with all due respect, no. You can't just say that when you're on the hot seat.
Moving forward. And I'm excited about this group. I'm excited about what they can do. And that's where my focus is.
Accept your past issues. Own them. And say, we are going to do better this year. I want to see you man up and own that. That trash defense from last year. I want to see you own it. And say, we're not going to do that anymore. I want a new mentality. I want a new energy. I want a new spark on this defense. That's what I need from you. And I'm not getting it. What I'm getting is like he's some type of fish guppy. Yeah. Look at that sad face. Look at that face. He's just like, okay. I think I gave you a satisfactory answer. Yeah. I think that was good enough. Does that satisfy him? Yeah. I'm just here so I can find. Like Richard Sherman. Yeah, I went there. I'm not afraid to go there. Because I feel like that's the energy he's giving off right now. Is I just don't care. I just want to get through this interview so I can get to the next practice. Like, okay. I'm going to give the most unsatisfactory answers, you know, and just bland answers just to get through this interview. Yeah, I'm just here just so I won't get fined. You know, this is required. I've got to do a press conference. This is gonna suck. Blah 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 blah. You know. Why are you coming in with that energy, Ajaro? When you know your job is on the line. That's not it, bro. That's not it. And I care about you, brother. I do. I think you're a good dude, man. I really do. You know, I clowned you a little bit, but I really do think you're a good dude. You know, I'm not even gonna hold you. I think you're a good dude. But you can't be coming in here with that energy and saying, I'll just give the most bland answer ever, you know, and do the whole car salesman talking fast stuff, you know, like like he's had an extra cup of coffee or something this morning. Bro, we know who you are. Quit trying to hide it. And Joe, you're not fooling anybody, bro. This press conference is not fooling anybody. And that face right there, that says it all. That says it all right there. He just like, yep, next question. Let's get this over with. It's like, Matt, do you care about your job as a defensive coordinator? Do you care? Because right now, I'm not feeling it, bro. I'm not feeling it. I'm not buying it. Is anybody else in the chat buying it? Because I'm not. I'm not.
You have your scheme. Have you made any changes schematically
Lord.
to suit some of the newer guys who are in?
Yeah, you know, I'd love to believe, you know, I've been so blessed. I've been around so many good coaches, great coaches, you know, Dom Capers.
Nobody asked what coaches you've been around. Did you make changes to this scheme? Did you or did you not? It's a yes or no question. It's not a let's fill in the. It's not a fill in the blank, bro. With whatever you feel like saying. It's a yes or no question.
Vic Fangio, Eric Mangini, on and on.
Name your
Wade
favorite
Phillips,
coaches. Yeah, I've been blessed to be around them.
And the one thing that I learned from all of them is that, like, you know, your scheme has got to be dictated by your players. And so, like, every year.
Your scheme has got to be dictated by your players. Did I just hear that right? Did I just hear him just say that? With your job on the line, you're going to say the scheme is dictated by the players. The more I listen to this dude, the more I'm convinced this dude ain't it. I'm just trying to tell y'all.
You know, it's you know, obviously there's a foundation of what we want to be and what we want to become, but, like, you know, you always have to start from the drawing board in terms of, like, okay, these are the guys we
That foundation came from Dave Canales and Dan, not you.
have. This is what they do well. How do we put them in position to do their best things the best?
Yeah. How do you put them in position to do their best? That's the main magical elephant in the room question that everybody's been asking you, Evero. Mr. Evero. And people have been asking that for about a year now. It's not going away. You can't sweep that question under a rug. Your job might just depend on the answer to that question. in the 2025 season. So how do you answer that?
So that's what we try to do.
Kind of building off that.
That's what you try to do? Emphasis on try. Because I'm not seeing it. You're talking a big game, but I'm not seeing the results. With everybody else, they don't even have to talk about it in this management. They just do it. They just do it. I don't care if you're buddy with Dan and Dave. I need results in 2025. I'm saying it right now. I need results. Because this is not the time to fool around with this Panthers organization. You either pass or fail on your own merit. Are you hearing me, Ajiro? Are you hearing what I'm saying? I care about you, brother. I want you to succeed. But I need you to understand, this is not the way to get that done. Talking about it is cheap. Show me something on the field, brother.
And apologize if I've already been asked about this, but Trayvon Merrick is just playing everywhere. It seems like this training camp. How does he influence what you do and what plays you call?
Bro, he don't even know. He don't even know. Because here's the thing. Morig is about to get treated like Jeremy Chin. You know how I know that? It's because Jeremy Chin was being put everywhere. They couldn't find a spot for Jeremy Chin. And I'm afraid that that's going to happen to Morig as well. God, I don't want it to, but I'm afraid it will.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about like some of our best players on defense. He's certainly going to be up there, and it's the name of the game is like giving your best players the hard downs, right? So we want JC Horn to have the best, the hardest coverage downs. We want, Derek we're going to stress him to play the run game and play two gaps, and it's no different. It's my job to put him in position. I'm talking about Trey, to put him in position where he can his best stuff comes to life, and he can go have some of those splash plays for us.
How do you feel?
Yeah, and you've been failing at that job, sir. Because he was not... The prior safety that you had, Mr. Robert Woods, was not in the proper spot to do his job. That's why he's not here anymore. And it's your fault. Do you really want that to happen, Trayvon Morig? Is he just another victim of that? I hope not. That's been a trend ever since Jeremy Chin.
What about the other safety spot right now?
I feel good. I mean, those guys they're doing a heck of a job. They're improving. They're growing. Coach Hill is doing a great job with them. And just kind of seeing what Damani is doing, seeing what Latham is doing, seeing what Nick Scott is doing. I mean, it's a lot of excellent work and growth from their standpoint. And so it's great. Competition makes the best of everybody, and so we're seeing that come to life.
Or is a
That actually did answer the question. But, I mean, it was a basic question. So...
platoon or as like a competition for one starting spot?
I don't want to get too much into that. That's up to obviously,
Why not? Why not? Why not deep dive that just a little bit, man? Give us something. Give us something to chew on, bro. Because right now, I'm not buying this whole circus act of yours. You're acting all car salesman-y and professional right now. But It ain't matching what you're saying, bro. It ain't matching what you're saying. I'm not buying it.
Dave and Dan and myself will figure that out down the road. But right now, it's just...
figure it out down the road. Excuse me, Ajaro? We are week 3 into preseason. Week 3 into preseason, sir. No, there is no figuring it out later. Figure it out now. Because we are trying to get people onto this 53-man roster that are going to stay here the entire year. That type of talent is about to end up on free agent list. That does not stick. If we don't even have a plan, that's what you're telling me right now? Man, somebody help me with the gyro, man. Somebody help me with this dude. This dude ain't it.
Just about seeing who's going to show up to be the best.
The best at what? What are you doing with him? What are you doing with him? Now, I'm going to show you Dave Canales when he does a press conference later on. Because he will get into the specifics. He will say, okay, what if this player was doing da-da-da-da-da, you know, in this certain type of scheme? What would happen if da-da-da-da-da happened, you know? You know, he gets into details. This dude is bland as crap. And he's supposed to be our defensive coordinator. I need something. God, I need something in preseason, man. Bro, this dude is as bland as a saltine cracker. Give me something, bro.
How jarring was the Josie Jewell news on the first day of camp?
Oh, Lord. Josie Jewell news, huh? What's going on with Josie Jewell?
Well, it's tough from a personal standpoint because you know, obviously we go back to Denver, and over the last couple of years we've developed a pretty good relationship, and talk about an outstanding human, outstanding football player, and one of those guys that you really enjoy like coming to work and being around every day, and so from a personal standpoint, it was tough. You know, I hurt for him, I hurt for his family, but I'm also happy for him too, because he's doing the right thing for himself right now. He's doing the right thing for his longevity and for his family, and so I applaud him for that. And so I'm wishing him the best, and whatever transpires of his career, you know, I'm wishing him the best with that.
Finally, the first thing in this whole presser I actually do believe. Finally, something I actually believe. This is empathy towards Josie Jewell. Okay, cool. And I mean, that in and of itself is a good thing.
That having, like, fixing the middle of the line, especially like Bobby Brown coming in, how important is that to what your overall plan was to get ready for this season?
We interrupt your typical line of BS to bring you an actual question. Let's go.
Yeah, I think just really good football on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, starts up front, and so the better you are up front.
Finally, somebody that understands this. Now we're talking football. Thank you, sir. It starts up front. Thank you. Correct.
More than often leads to success, and so it makes everybody else's job easier. And so I think it's always a forefront to have good players up front.
About Josie, Christian obviously stepping up into that role.
You would be amazed at how many defensive coordinators have been through here that have not said that. So, I give him points for that one. I give him points. Respect points given. Because that right there is a solid answer.
Wearing the green dot, what's impressed you the most about how he's been able to grow past year?
Yeah, they're very similar in terms of the skill set First of all, they both could command a huddle, which Christian has shown. He did it in LA, and he's doing it now. So he can run the huddle. He could get the communication done. And he's got a great feel for football. He can put himself in the right position in the run game, in the pass game. His mind works fast, so he can always stay ahead of his problems. And so he's done a great job.
Finally, some decent answers. All right. Now we're getting somewhere, Gyro. Come on, man.
Are you able to share with us whether or not we'll see Jason Horn travel any this season?
I am not sure about that right now. Not into the game planning part of it. So we're just trying to develop our skills, but we'll see that. We'll see about that coming soon, I'm sure.
That was more of a question for Dave Canales.
On Trevin Grove from rookie year to this summer, as far as, I guess his general game.
Just playing faster. That's been the number one thing that we try to impress on him is that, he's got all the skill sets. He's big, he's fast, he's smart, extremely, extremely intelligent. And and typical for that position. I always tell everybody that that position may be the hardest mentally to play aside of from quarterback in the NFL. There's just so much going on, and your decisions have to be made in a split second. And so with that stress of growing through that his rookie year, now that he's got experience in the system, now that he has experience in the NFL, just letting it loose and trusting his instincts. And so he's done a better job of that.
See, now we're having a football conversation, Ajaro. Thank you. That's what I wanted from you. Was more explanation. There you go. See,
right,
now how hard was that?
Continue.
And he only gets 2 questions, man. You wasted 3/4 of that presser time. Talking about some garbage. And then now you want to start answering questions the last 2. See, now I want more questions with this dude, man. I want more questions with him. Because once he finally got into his rhythm answering these questions and giving a little bit more detail, then you're just like, now I want more. But before that, I was just like, bro, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. The dude talks about the system, yet refuses to answer the question on what the system is. Yes, we realize it's a 3-4. That's not what I'm asking. Give me some detail about where you would put Trayvon Moehrig in a 3-4. That was the question. It's like, I don't know. We're going to figure that out later. Wrong answer. We are 3/4 of the way through training camp. We're about to hit our second preseason game. And you still don't know where to put this man? That's exactly my point. Exactly my point right there. This dude ain't it, man. This dude is not it. The sooner y'all figure this out, the better. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to mess around. I'm trying to win, y'all. We trying to get this division, you see here. We ain't got time for this garbage. We ain't got time to play around like this, man. You gonna come out there with that type of I'm gonna drink 5 shots of double espresso coffee energy and then come out with that answer. Man, please. A gyro, please, bro. Give us something we can work with. For God's sakes, even Phil Snow is better than this. At least Phil actually knew some concepts. And he was actually telling people, okay, what if we put, so-and-so players into this position in this area? It's like, I don't... A gyro, come on, buddy. Nobody's buying this, bro. It's all BS, man. As far as I'm concerned, it's all BS. You got to show me something that's not. The only things I actually believe were the last 3 things you said. Because the rest of it was complete dumpster fire garbage. Now remember, as a coach, as a coordinator, you are trying to try out for not just keeping your job here, but a job with 31 other teams if you fail here. Or a college team, I better not hear down the road, a gyro is trying for a head coaching job, blah, 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 his qualifications are blah, 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 blah. I better not hear that. Dave, I love you, buddy, but a gyro's not it. You're gonna have to keep pushing, bro. And I'm gonna give this man a whole year. I and the rest of us are gonna give this man a whole year. But if I don't see what I'm looking for, I don't want to see the whole buddy system, man. Just kick him to the curb and move. Because let's find somebody that can do this properly. I want to believe in the 3-4. I want to believe what this man is saying. I want to buy in. But I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want success for a gyro. I do. He's a good guy. You can't be coming in here just bland as crap and not answering questions. With more than just, oh, these guys grew and they have potential, blah, 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 blah. We know this. We know this, dude. You're not telling us anything we don't know. That's the problem. What do we got?
Is it?
That's a fair question.
Opening statement. I'm just good to be back.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Who gave this man a mic? Who gave this man a mic? Who was the brave soul that gave this man a mic? Oh, my God. Yeah, y'all done messed up now. Alright, we done opened the cookie jar. Let's see what happens.
It's different being up here. It's awesome just hitting the ground running in year 2. I think we've touched on it a couple times with a bunch of you guys, but the guys have done a really good job of, we challenge them to pick up where we left off in the spring, and you feel that. So we get to correct new things as we go into, the latter parts of camp, which is a lot of fun.
Brad, today was kind of a unique situation. You had little kids running around out there, the police athletically. What's it like, seeing that and then seeing your guys, including Bryce, react to it?
Oh, it's great. Honestly, early in camp, Dave challenged the guys to remember, you talk about your whys, why do you play the game, and you dig back to those years, your formative years of like first time you played football, and like it's all like dreamy and like, yeah, like I would love to play in the NFL someday. Like after the first game, it's like, well, everybody, you did it, right? So everybody had their first experience. You can check that box, and then to kind of circle back on it a week later is really cool. See those kids out there, and it's just like genuine passion, you know, just playing the game because they're having fun with their friends, and then getting to juice them up and get right in the mix of it. Get Icky at right guard there when we were missing a body. You know, that was pretty special, right?
Did your
Wait. Icky at right guard? Icky at right guard? Did I just hear that right? Hold up.
Early in camp, Dave challenged guys to like remember, you know, you talk about your whys, like why do you play the game, and you dig back to those years, your formative years of like first time you played football, and like it's all like dreamy and like, yeah, like I would love to play in the NFL someday. Like after the first game, it's like, well, everybody, you did it, right? So everybody had their first experience. You can check that box, and then to kind of circle back on it a week later is really cool. See those kids out there, and it's just like genuine passion, you know, just playing the game because they're having fun with their friends, and then getting to juice them up and get right in the mix of it. Get Icky at right guard there when we were missing a body. You know.
Icky at right guard where we're missing a body. Nobody told me this dude could play right guard. Not a single person told me this man could play right guard. Well, I missed that memo. I don't know about y'all, but I missed that memo.
No, that was pretty special, right?
Did your college scouting background kind of tick when you saw that center who kind of looked pro ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's halfway there. He's got some size to him. I was a little worried about the running back when you checked the birth certificate because that guy was pretty yoked up. No, it was funny. They were playing physical. I think there's a guy off the edge who kept making plays. We're trying to help him get down in the red zone, and defense wins championships, right? So they were playing physical ball, and
true.
It was tough to get across that goal line.
So what are you seeing out of Bryce so far in this camp that maybe was missing this time last year?
You know, just looking at where he is today, not even like just a full-scale progression of the whole offense. Like we challenged him to take his one-on-one conversations that he's having with players, you know, editing routes. Hey, I'm expecting to do this on a break. I'm expecting you to be here at this time. Take that to the full room so the whole unit can grow together. He's really taken that to heart.
Purdue Global was there for me.
Cool. All right.
7-on-7 together as a skill unit, and you know, when it comes up that something happens on a route for JT or T-Mac or, you know, Adam, whoever it is, he gets to say it to the whole room, and we've challenged him to do that, and he's taken that next step to make sure that everybody's working to, you know, improve together, even though you didn't get the rep, and that's especially important when you have a bunch of young skill guys. So we're trying to steal reps for them by, you know, somebody else's experience on the field, and have a lot of the coaching points that we believe in, you know, get reverberated by the quarterback.
What have you seen specifically in the early chemistry and connections between Bryce and T-Mac?
Yeah, T-Mac, he's just got a good feel for space, right? So we know the type of athlete he is at his size to be able to change direction, but to take advantage of windows, you see it in the first preseason game. He gets leverage, and then you know he's going to catch the ball. So the thing for them is just continuing to work out the timing on some of those precision routes, because they both have a good feel for it. Now, how does it work within the scope of the play, what Bryce is expected when he hits his back foot and he lets that thing go? Those are the fun things you get to work through in training camp, and continue to like dive back in. If you just miss on one, let's hit it the next day, and let's see how many of those we can get, you know, accomplished and under our belt before week 1.
Good, finally. I was expecting him to like deep dive a play concept or something like that. But this is a better Brad Isaac this time around. He's not doing that this time. Maybe you learned.
Got a pretty deep
history with wide receivers, just like Dave. How would you rate the depth of this group right now?
Oh, it's really deep. I just applaud the competition,
Good
their
question.
approach. So, been a part of like a lot of rooms that have diverse skill sets, but this group top to bottom, we said, hey, we want you to conceptually learn so we can plug you and play in different spots. All those guys are playing different spots. They're all challenging each other and pushing each other, and you don't feel like there's a huge drop off when you go from one group to the next. Andy always chuckles. He's like, hey, first group's up. All right, second group's up. He's like, no, it's just the next guys, right? And he's like the old Wiley vet. He's like, I don't want to be the twos. Like, I want to be the next guys. And that's truly what it is. They're all making strides together as a group, and they're all pushing each other. And there really isn't a drop off because they're feeding off each other's the coaching points like we were talking about in those 7-on-7 periods where we go watch as a group. They're taking those coaching points to heart and they're applying to their own game.
Right. So when you looked at the 2015 roster, how much of a drop off in talent did you see? Not much at all. And that's exactly how well built that roster was. And that was my point of emphasis, of when I was watching that team, I was just like, holy crap. There's like no drop off at all. It's just the next guy and then the next guy and then the next guy and the next guy. It's the next man up. And as a player on the other team, you don't recognize the difference. You literally didn't recognize the difference. You didn't even recognize that player hadn't even left the field. The only thing you see is a different name and number and maybe a different weight and height. But technique-wise and skill-wise, you didn't notice much of a difference at all when they brought in those second stringers and third stringers. And people wonder why we went 4-0 in preseason that year. That's why. Because we had depth on depth on depth on depth. And that's what I want to get back to. That's exactly the bar I want to set for this team. For us to keep getting to. Year after year after year. But the trick is once you get there, maintaining it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You know what I'm saying? We're not quite there yet.
Damian sidelined and the center competition kind of done. How has that enabled you guys to kind of look at your depth at the guard position, whether it's Brady, whether it's Carter, whether it's Cade, and kind of try to get the most out of that group when you're cross-training?
Yeah, it's honestly, like, you love having D-Lou out there. You love having your five, working together, working through communication. But it's also a blessing in that way to see, okay, who do we have waiting in the wind? Like, who's working well next to Austin, next to Cade? Who's echoing out the calls to the tackles. So working with those guys and just cycling them through. We were already doing that with D-Lou and with Rob, taking care of those guys because they take a lot of reps for us during the season. But just trying to get those guys experience with the first group and going against a really good, aggressive defensive line. Derek Brown is back. He's very much back, and he shows up at practice, and that makes all of our guys better. So what better test to put a potential backup to D-Lou, and then he has to go against Derek Brown and Bobby and Turk and all those guys in the interior that are just going full tilt all practice.
Goal for Houston from your standpoint?
Yeah, we're going to have some good, hopefully a little like warmer, thicker weather for us. So that'll be a first good fitness goal, right? It's pretty thick right now, but the rain has kind of cooled off the last couple days. Honestly, the defensive structure, we had it last week. Having a new defensive structure is great to test our rules, to show guys how we would attack a different defense. And just having those film sessions after that joint practice is invaluable to us before week one. And then just when you see fresh faces, it's so much easier for the guys now to okay, they don't know our concepts. Like, you almost have to, before you get on the plane, say, remember guys, we've been running these plays, we've been getting good reps at these plays, but now these guys don't know them. All right, so just go run them and trust your technique and trust the things we've experienced over the last 3 weeks and apply it to the practice in the game against Houston.
Sanders, how has he grown from this time last year when he was getting a lot of reps out of necessity?
Yeah. He's a valuable weapon for us right now. We've put him outside a couple times and taken advantage of matchups, and teams have to decide whether they want to play nickel to us in 12 or if they want to play base, because we do a lot of movement stuff with our tight ends in the run game.
Stop talking about the concepts. Brad, we've talked about this. Brad, you're deep diving it too much, buddy. You're deep diving it too much. That was never the question. He's doing it again. Guys, he's doing it again.
We're not necessarily just putting a one-on-one block at the point of attack, and JT does a really good job of it. You go to the first play of the last game, and he's coming across and slicing a defensive end. He's really aggressive when he does that stuff. So,
no, stop talking about the concepts of the play itself. We don't need to hear that from you. You're giving away the store. We get an offensive coordinator that gives away the store and a defensive coordinator that doesn't give us enough information about stuff. Oh, that's fun.
So, his ability in the pass game, but then also his willingness in the run game to play physical with that athleticism, we just have to put him in the right spot to take advantage of those traits.
That was too much. That was too much on that answer, and you know it.
What have you seen out of Leggett since you brought in T-Mac? Was he threatened by that? And when you finish with that, I want to ask you too on Renfro, what you've seen about from.
Were you threatened by that? What do you mean by were you threatened by that? You got a star wide receiver and you're bringing in another star wide receiver. What is threatening about that? So somebody explain that one to me, because I'm not getting it. What is the context of this question? That one threw me off, man. I don't know.
Not at all. I don't think Xavier ever feels encroached by others. He truly is focused on.
It's the Sleep Number.
Lordy. Oh, God.
We're just talking about it downstairs. You give the guy a coaching point, he's going to try to do it exactly the way you say. So there's a nice happy medium there with a guy who's so fast and physical to just let him run, and then to give him the one tidbit he might need on a route. But we all know when he opens it up and he runs, that's one of the greatest assets he could have to our team, and he's going to get a lot of separation that way. So it's finding that happy balance of a guy who wants to do things the right way, and then how many rules, how many structures do you put in place for him that might slow him down a tick from just going full gas. And we've loved the physicality he's played with, the aggression, maybe not some of the aggression on the game day, but he showed up in practice just playing with his hands and attacking balls, and that all comes with confidence in the scheme. Him and Coker coming into year 2, it's really...
The man's already apologized. What more do you want from him, Brad?
Showed up, Coker's laughed about it. He's like, it's so nice having to, you get to go out there and I don't have to worry about just where I'm lined up. Don't have to worry about my split. He gets to focus on how do I beat the guy across from me. And you see that from both of those two guys right now as they play fast and physical. That just shows you that they're more comfortable in the scheme.
And Renfro, what's he bring to you guys?
He just gets open. He just knows how to get open. I was even laughing with Adam about it after practice. There's a little corner route. He might have bad leverage. He knows how to steal leverage. He's got freaky lateral quickness, and then when he opens up, he's big strides, a powerful first 4 steps, which simulates I'm going full tilt vertical, and that's I think.
Bro, stop! You're over explaining, Brad. You're over explaining again. Stop it. Somebody needs to put this man on a leash. Put your dog on a leash, Dave. Put Put this man on a leash, please. This is too much. You don't need a deep dive, Renfro. Renfro is Renfro. Come on, man. We all know what he can do. Okay? That it's not necessary. Because now you're getting into, okay, what exactly does he do? He in schemes and stuff like that, and it's just like, okay, well, like, we know who Hunter Renfro is. Chill. God dang, man. Did everybody have like 5 cups of espresso this morning before they came in on Thursday? Jeez,
he said it in a presser the other week, right? Like, everything stems off the vertical. Everything stems off the vertical. Well,
40.
How many vertical, like, has he run true go balls outside? No, that's not
Stop.
really his craft.
Oh, my God.
Right? But he simulates that every single time, and then he eats up whatever leverage you give him. And he just does a phenomenal job
You are
of it.
giving away the
And
store.
then keeping
You are
him,
telling everybody
similar to
what.
what we were talking about with T-Mac, in a wheelhouse of timing that works for the quarterback. That's the key.
You just gave away the key to the vault, bro. Of T-Mac. What are you doing?
So just making sure that those two are on the same page. Sometimes that is,
Oh,
hey, you got to
Lord.
work this one on the side. Make sure that you know when Bryce is trying to get rid of the ball and how much time you have.
Stop telling people what we are doing, Brad. Stop it. There are NFL scouts that watch this. You genius.
Have to work, because if you give him 5 seconds, he'll get open versus anyone, but we don't have 5 seconds. So it's keeping that in a nice box for us.
You had a lot of, last year, I remember, you ended, because of your age and background, you had a lot of connections to these guys. Did you have any background with Hunter, and if so, what was it?
I just missed him. So I was playing at Wake. He was playing at Clemson after me. So I probably knew the guys that were hosting him on visits if he went on them. But no, just being a South Carolina guy, like I'm sure he knows some of the people I know that grew up in the area. But it's cool having another local guy around here that knows the ACC well, and we can kind of relate to going to Chapel Hill to play, going to NC State to play, and all those things. But I've always admired from a distance too, just the way Coach Sweeney runs his program, and picked Hunter's brain on that, and just some pretty cool stories he has just about how he treats his players, and me as a coach, like, I personally try to take in every positive experience a player has had with a coach, and you'd love to apply it to the way you operate. Another good example is the other night, ironic.
Oh my God. Stop talking, Brad. Just stop talking. You've already answered the question. Stop talking. You're rambling now. I appreciate what you said about Dabo and the Clemson Tigers organization, but at this point, stop.
I was at Pete Hansen's house, and his neighbor is Jim Grobe's son. So I got to meet Jim Grobe's son, who was my head coach at Wake, and I was just telling him how much I respected his father.
He knows
was a
this
great,
person, they know
asset
this
to me when I was
person.
playing. And he said, you know what, I played for him too at Ohio back in the day. And I was like, oh, what was that like, playing for your dad? And he's like, I watched him treat everybody else.
Bro,
just
this is
like
water
he
cooler
treated
talk,
me.
man.
And he was the same
Nobody
honorable
cares.
man in all those circumstances. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So to
Brad,
hear Hunter
Brad,
kind of
Brad,
echo
look at
the feelings
Brad,
that I had
Brad.
when we'd go play in Clemson, and they would
Brad,
have all those
look at me, bro.
5-star recruits. and they
No
were
one
rolling.
cares.
To hear him echo those sentiments is pretty cool.
For God's sakes, bro. If we want somebody that'll waste time and ramble in a press conference and waste everybody's time in the press room, we know who to call. If we want somebody that'll do water cooler talk, yep, this is your dude.
Cool, because that kind of confirmed my intuition when I was in college.
You called the game against the Browns. Do you plan on calling the game against the Texans, or do you know?
He called the game against the Browns? How did you find that information out? Because Dave Canales isn't offering that information. And I didn't see it on any news anywhere. And bro, I check so many sources a week. It's insane. And I was not privy to that information. Why not? Because they didn't want us to know. And I know that Ajiro wasn't the person calling the defense either. I saw that earlier. Cooley was. I found that out 2 days after the game. In Charlotte. So that explains a lot, actually. Yep. That explains a lot.
I loved it. I loved it. I think I'll still get experiences here in the preseason and call games, and just all that stuff is up to Dave, right? To whatever's best for the Panthers is the company line. But I truly believe that I'm here to support the vision that we have as a Panthers.
Now that I believe.
Panthers organization. If that means me calling plays, if that means somebody else calling plays, I'm happy to do it. I just know that I just want this offense to operate like year 2 of this offense and continue to take steps forward. And whoever calling plays gets that done is the best thing for us.
So how would you say you called the Browns game versus how you called it when you got the chance versus the Bills last year?
Yeah, when you get in the second half of the third preseason game, things get a little messy. So last year...
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just...
I thought Jack did a great job last year against the Bills. We just kind of cut it loose with some core concepts and stuff. And first time feeling out how do you get a flow within a drive and all that. Then you come into a preseason game against the Browns, and it's a balance of operating against a new scheme, but then also you want to feature your players. Like you get a limited amount of reps with your ones, so there's a nice balance there of like, hey, we're trying to run our core stuff. I also want to get Rico a ball. I want to get Chuba a ball. You'd love to get everybody a ball. And so you're trying to balance like, hey, I want to feel out what the flow of year 2 for this offense feels like. Try to give them like a snapshot of that so they feel that going into a game environment, but then also giving everybody a chance to, showcase themselves. And that's the biggest challenge within a limited amount of time.
Last question, Mike.
Okay. Hey, Brad, you brought up Derek Brown and how he impacts the offensive line. What's it like going up against JC, both as a guy who's trying to get the most out of these wide receivers, but also the offense in general?
Yeah, really, JC and Mike, I love those guys. When we're in special teams, period, they're over there doing their individual work while we're working with the quarterbacks. And not only do they bring a physical style that challenges our receivers and prepares them, I think T-Mac early on had a great experience with guys. You're not always going to get holding calls. These guys are vets. They're wily vets. They can hide their hands. So it's teaching him the physicality of the game before he even steps on a game day field. But then also I get to pick their brains. Hey, what'd you see there? How'd you squat on that one? And then they're talking to me about splits. They're talking to me about things that we presented earlier in practice or earlier in camp. And we get to talk about our offense from their point of view, which is invaluable. I love talking to the safeties. Same thing. Nick Scott being a vet. All those guys try to pick their brains whenever we can. Shaw Smith Wade is another one. So the cerebral part, JC and Mike play the game so well that selfishly I get to go, steal them for a minute in special teams and say, hey, or if JC's taking a day off, there are a lot of times I'm standing right next to him.
You're
Like,
explaining
you gotta double move
again.
here. Watch
Come
this
on.
one. Okay, like, tell me what you see. And I get to learn from that. So I get to bring that back to the receivers room in a live setting, which is really, really cool,
Brad,
really
Izzy.
invaluable.
Come on.
And I'm grateful
Wrap
to
it
have
up.
those guys.
Wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Lord. That dude wears me out every time I try to do a presser with him. Just wears me out. I mean, like, come on, man. Alright, do y'all want to do one with with Trayvon Moehrig or no? Honestly, I don't see the point. Yet another situation where they waste everybody's time for about 20 minutes. Alright. About 7-minute presser. Okay. That it? That all we get? Oh, okay. We get Bryce. We get Bryce as well. Do y'all want to hear from Bryce? I think it's relevant. Nah, let's just wrap him up. Let's get Dave Canales and we'll end it with that.
You wanted it. You got it.
What an amazing day. First and foremost, just a class act. You know, D'Amico Ryans, the Texans, their whole staff. They were so accommodating. And then I think just the culture that they're building here, their players, they got a talented football team. They played so hard. There was physical hits, great effort all across the field, and done with class. And I just really appreciated that part of it, and I was excited about the work we were able to get in. I didn't see any of the defensive side, so I was on the offensive field over here.
As usual, again, why are you not watching the defense? Especially after the presser we just had with a gyro, where this man does not know what he's even doing out there. Now you want to have... Oh, Lord. Dave, I'm sorry, man. I got to throw a little bit of smoke at you, bro. This is the second week in a row that you not watch that defense at all that is under fire and being actively built right now. You want to tell me why?
In the middle of the practice, we got really sloppy. We had about 5 pre-snap penalties in one drive. We're looking at some, first and 15s, a couple of sacks. I thought it got sloppy. In the middle, responded at the end with 2 great 2-minute finishes for touchdowns at the end of the practice over here, which was phenomenal. And I just keep convincing our guys that's who we are. We finish. Games can get ugly in the middle. We have to be able to refocus and rebound. So,
True.
I was really excited about that part.
Dave, specific to Bryce, in that 2-minute segment, I mean, he's going up against a better graded competition. I mean, those are some really good defensive players. What did you see from him there, and what's kind of the takeaway from that segment?
Yeah, just our process is getting to the line, using his tools, using his answers, reading coverages, and just being accurate with the ball, extending plays when he had to. And the more opportunities he gives our guys to make plays, they've come through for him. And I think we got a big defensive pass interference that actually flipped the field. So you can see how it goes both ways. But he did a great job today.
You talked about the pre-snap.
Harbor Freight tools keep getting better with...
Blah, 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 blah.
Preseason game. What
does that? I mean, how do you fix that?
Yeah, I just keep teaching the guys, and they see it when we get into these situations. Our guys are very competitive. They want to win, and all of a sudden you're looking at, 1st and 15. You're looking at 2nd and 20, and they can feel how deflating those situations can be. We've overcome that at times, but it's hard. It's hard to get those explosives to get yourself back on track. But it's something we have to keep teaching off of, and ultimately to let them know, like the guys that are repeat offenders, we're not gonna be able to play you. You're not gonna be able to help us if you keep putting us in bad situations.
Ooh. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? We're not going to be able to play you if you keep doing the same stupid crap. Ooh. That's what I like to hear, Dave. That's what I like to hear. We're not settling for the same old no more. You keep committing dumb penalties over and over and over again. You're not going to see the field. Ooh. That's a message to the players. Pay attention. This man's not screwing around. This man is not screwing around.
About that wide receiver group.
I like that.
It's the Shaq Rooms, and like you said, the Texans have some pretty big DBs. What did you see out of that group today?
I saw good battles. They had their work's worth today with a fantastic group. With Stingley and Lassiter and Petrie and Bullock back there. Sorry if I'm missing any of the other great players. They had a couple of players out there that were covering us tightly all day. Everything that we caught, we had to work for. It's such great work for us, to be in that kind of a competitive environment that way. And you win some, you lose some, you got to go to the next play. So it was a great challenge for our guys.
Bryce and CJ go 1 and 2 in the draft. CJ, offensive rookie of the year. Bryce has the good finish last year. Did you study, I guess, CJ when he was coming out, and what do you see in their games that are similar at all, and then how are they different?
Yeah, I think some similarities that both guys had is just their charisma, their leadership ability. That was very apparent in their college film, watching that. The accuracy, the ability to move off the pocket, extend plays, is a bonus to what they do. But I think it's really like you're talking about two first-class guys, that are leaders of their team. CJ came over and said hello and just wanted to make sure he connected, and I really appreciate that. And Bryce did the same thing. These guys have a lot of respect for each other. They've known each other for a really long time, both Southern California kids, the cradle of quarterbacks, and so they just, they have that kind of, they have that connection. They also have that competitive edge, like where they push each other, I'm sure, from afar. So it was really cool to have both of those guys out here working.
Dave, I know you've been kind of stickler about penalties in practice. Seems like there are quite a few on the offensive side.
Yeah.
What did you take away from maybe the discipline?
Fatigue, lack of focus. That's something that we have to learn to do better. We have to be able to fight through fatigue, fight through exhaustion. It's going to be hot. We're going to go to Jacksonville week 1. It's going to feel like this. Can we maintain that level of focus play after play? Regardless of what the last play did, can you breathe on your way back, and then can you execute? And I saw the penalties pile up when we were tired. That's something that we have to get better at.
Did you, I'm sorry, I got you late, but did you give us an update on Nick Scorton?
Yeah, Scorton just overheated, so they got him in they have a cooling trailer like we have, so they got him in there, try to get his core temperature back down. He had to take some IV fluids, and we just didn't feel comfortable putting him back out there to finish the practice. You get dehydrated, first thing happens is you get soft tissue injuries, and of course, worse things can happen when you're overly heated. But they did a good job of catching that, getting him in there, cooling him down. We'll get him some more fluids, and hopefully we can get him turned around so he can play in the game.
David, you didn't get to watch defense today.
Yeah.
In general, what has Pat Jones kind of added to that rush?
Just a physical style of play, exactly what we're looking for, to be disruptive on the edge, to really blow stuff up. It starts with the run game, and he does that for sure. And then in a pass rush setting, he's got a nice speed to power move, and he's got counters, so he kind of keeps tackles guessing, and he can rush inside. So he's doing a great job, and he's a pro's pro. The way he prepares and works is awesome.
There's Jalen Coker and Trevin Wallace. How are they doing?
Yes, good. So Trevin has a personal matter that I won't get into, but he showed up. He actually flew in this morning, so he's back with the team here. And then Coker had a fever last night, swollen lymph nodes, so they think it's some type of an infection. So they're treating him antibiotics and all that. And they said he's getting better. He's at the hotel right now, improving, and hopefully we can turn him around so he can play.
You obviously held JC out. Will he be held out Saturday?
Yeah, I would think so.
You talked about this earlier, but how important was it to get some hot practice before Jacksonville when Charlotte's been a little unseasonably cool this week?
I know we kind of been spoiled with the weather a little bit, but I felt confident about our conditioning level. I think that we're dosing the guys the right way, pushing them, pushing them a little bit beyond their limits, every day and trying to increase their workload.
Good.
This was a crescendo of the hard work. I love that we were able to come out here to play all the way through, finish with great 2-minute drives over here on the offensive field. I got to check out the defensive side, but I just kind of was looking around and, for the most part, this is a very fit group that's ready to play football. I love the fact that we got this heat. We know we opened up at Jacksonville, but again, guys, it's football. We'll be prepared for it. We let the guys know. Go out there, give everything you have. We see that you're gassed. We'll get somebody else out there, and that's where the depth that we're building here is so important as we, continue into the season.
Pre-series still for the game?
That's the hope. I want to see how we come out of today, because I know, right after the practice, thank the Lord, it feels like we came out pretty clean. But things kind of present themselves. Soreness will present itself tonight, so we'll have to kind of reconfigure in the morning, see where we're at, to see how long we want to play them. But they will be playing.
Thank you, Coach. Thank
you. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So that's it. Unless you guys want to hear from Bryce, I don't see that he would have anything positive to help us with, or add to it. To what we already know. But I'm satisfied. I like where this is going and what we're doing. So, Texans game up next tomorrow on the 16th, as it is past midnight now. So, the 16th on Saturday at 1 p.m. is the Texans game. So, we're going to try to do a little bit of a pregame thing before the game starts, and just talk about the matchup and everything, and just go over it in detail as we usually do. But I don't think we'll get that far, honestly. So, I'm looking to start about 12 to 12:30 on Saturday, and we'll see if that works out. I may just start up right at game time. We'll see. But it's preseason. I'm sure these guys are prepared for this game, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, super excited. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun. Still a lot of work to do, obviously. Building the roster episode out now. Bryce Young goes back to his old high school. Okay, cool. Did we blueprint? Yeah, we've already seen building the roster. Okay, cool. So we're waiting on the training camp one at the end of training camp. which they are currently still trying to film, I bet. So, as far as the blueprint, anyway, that will cover days 14 and 15. Is it 14 or 15? It is, let's see. 15 to 16. That'll do it for days 15 to 16. We want to thank you guys for coming through. In our preparation for the Texans game. So hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as scheduling for the channel and for the Orange Sports app. Keep pounding Fantasy Football League. We are still working on getting the necessary people in for the Fantasy Football League. We'll let you guys know when we are ready to open that up to the public. If you are interested in getting in touch with me, there's my socials. On Instagram at Shadow Warrior with 1W645, and through the Facebook group page through Facebook Messenger. Shout out Like Poppy, our moderator in chat. Appreciate you. You do absolutely wonderful things, and I appreciate you so much, man. So much. Especially on game days. Shout out Monster Sub and Grub. Get yourself a sub if you're in Spartanburg. The owner's a Panthers fan and big longtime Panthers supporter. So go support some Panther related business, man. Give them some business out there. Shout out to all the other Panthers content creators. Keep doing what you're doing. From UNC 2020 to Shellytron to Bleeding Carolina Blue Podcast to C3 to my partner in crime, Bullets Ball Champ. And, a lot of other ways that you can show support to Panthers podcasters is by liking, subscribing to their content, and donating. So go show some love if you want to. We operate free here. We welcome all 32 teams fans here. So if you're new, welcome. All new followers, subs, and anyone that is new. So we appreciate you. Much love. Welcome to the family. Keep pounding. I think that should do it. Yeah, if you like what you see on the intro, go check out Lindara Tai on Instagram, using her last name first, Tai, T-A-I Lindara, Lindara, to up your game as a streamer or a content creator. Fair pricing, awesome to work with, and just awesome in general. Lindara Tai on Instagram. Still looking for new clients? Tell her we sent you. She'll set you up. Alrighty. Next up, we have the Texans game, so get ready for preseason game number 2. We're getting closer to the regular season, guys and ladies. How y'all feeling about that? Let me know. Alrighty. Don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any new content coming out from training camp. It is hot off the press. Let's go. Brand new news every single day, except for their off days. So, Brand new content coming in hot. Alrighty, guys. Appreciate y'all. Great days of practice. Great future ahead. Keep pounding. Stay happy, healthy, and well. And as always, you already know what to do. You know what it is. Keep pounding. Thank you guys. Peace.